Hey guys, welcome back to the Rebel Chan channel. Been a while making a video again. I was making a video just now and I was 5 minutes in and then I realized I was not actually recording anything, so try again. Today I'm going to talk about my Azodin KP3. I purchased this second hand. It was used once for 230 euro shipped from Germany. So it also has an S stamp, so that's cool. I got myself the KP3 because I always wanted to have a KP3. New they cost 350 euros, and which is still a very, very good price. Azodin is the only company that makes paintball pump markers on the scale as they do. They have a couple of them, couple of variations of pump markers, and they are all cool. They're all good. They're very much in the budget realm in terms of the price and the overall quality. It's very budgety, but it's a very, very good pump marker in my personal opinion. Definitely a couple of things why people don't like them that shoot, for example, an upgraded Empire Sniper or CCM pumps or maybe some other pumps. They prefer those pumps over this particular brand, and that's because it's pretty rudimentary. It's pretty budget, and the tolerances are not as tight as some of the other brands. But I actually like that. I like that the tolerances are not super tight. I like that it's cheap and affordable, and it feels like that, and it plays like that. And there's something about it that makes me draw into it. First of all, you saw the pump stroke is actually pretty darn light. It's a light pump stroke. It's really surprisingly light for what it is. And that's because the heavy front block, the dual rod, it's completely polished guide rod. So there's not much resistance at all. And it feels nice with this big blocky pump handle. Definitely feels nicer than the stock Empire Sniper pump handle, which is terrible. That's something I replaced as soon as I got my second Empire Sniper. That was out so fast. I got the Inception Designs pump handle on that one, and it shoots so much nicer with all those goodies. But anyway, the pump handle is really nice, light pump stroke. The trigger is light throughout. It's a light take up and pull. It's very squishy, very, I don't know, very loosey, a very interesting feel, and it makes the pump marker shoot very interesting. And as you can hear, you hear that farting sound already, just dry firing. The spring and the hammer, basically, you know, the spring farting out that hammer, and when you air it up, the fart noises are a lot more pronounced. You really can feel that spring tension being released when you drop that sear inside the marker and having that drop the hammer. You really feel the whole marker shaking a bit. With my Empire Sniper, it's much more tighter. There is some vibration feeling the same as I got with my CCM pumps, but it's nowhere near as beefy and noticeable as with this pump. But it has its appeal. I feel it has its appeal. It just feels clunky. It feels cheap, but it feels good. It feels really nice. Maintaining this marker is super easy. The only points that I would say that are a bit of an annoyance is the slot here that reveals the hammer and the hammer spring. Those are open, so if you get paint, pieces of skin from the paint inside of here, it might gunk up and seize the marker from working properly, or basically the FPS drops down significantly. I had that with my CCM pumps as well, so I bought slot blockers for those. I will get a slot blocker for this one as well. They sell them on Etsy. They also, that slot blocker fixes the wobble, so the side-to-side wobble is then mitigated. It's just a little plastic 3D printed piece that fits over here and then basically guides this whole section here of the bolt and make sure there's no wobble anymore, if not much. So that's an easy fix, a very inexpensive, cheap. The rack seat has a tendency to break quite fast in these cheap regulators. Some people exchange the regulator for one from CP. You could do that, or just play with it till that happens and then fix it. But it's a very offhand marker. You don't have to do a ton of maintenance on it. You don't have to do a lot of adjusting or fixing. With my CCM palms and my Empire Sniper, because it's fully decked out with Inception design parts, I do have to time it from time to time, make sure the trigger sear is releasing on the correct time, and the ball in the breech is like fully disengaged, or there's nothing that causes issue where basically I'm chopping balls, or it's just half cocking and it doesn't feed the paintballs. I don't really have that with this one. I strongly suggest not to fuck around with it. When you get it out of the box, just play with it, adjust the velocity if needed, or the IVG, just make sure that's dialed in, and then just leave it as is, and from time to time clean it out. But it's a very simplistic to use marker. It's chunky, as you can see. Look at that back block. That's a fat boy. It's a fat, chunky marker. It has quite a bit of heft to it as well. Well, for example, the CCM T2s, they're slightly lighter and thinner. And yeah, overall, you pay a lot of money for a CCM these days. Like, you can buy 4, almost 5 of these Azodin KP3s for that. Are they shooting more accurate? Are they shooting are they more reliable? Are they better shooting? Debatable. Yeah, reliable a bit better, because that's standard regulator on the Azodin KPs. Some people have some issues with the on-off ASA. But in general, I would say the general consensus is that the KP3 is a favorite amongst many people that want to have a budget vape, a budget pump. Sorry, I'm thinking about other stuff. It's just it's a really nice complete package. Like, you have a nice feed neck with a thumb screw and a lock lever. You have a very simple to open and maintain system. Like, you can take out the spring and the bolt the hammer really easy. With a lot of the pump guns, you have to use an Allen wrench key. They don't have this kind of cap on the back that you can do hand screwing, unscrewing. So that makes it really easy. It's just a very no-nonsense marker. There's not much of an upgrade on the aftermarket as well, or there isn't, because this is based on a spider body. If I'm saying, yeah, spider body. And whereas most other pump markers are based on autocockers, so there's a zillion parts available. But it's not always what you want to do. If you're looking for something that you just can play with and just is reliable and it just works, then I would say get the Azodin KP3. I would say it's an equivalent to the Planet Eclipse EMAC or ETA 3M. It's just works so well. Again, the quality overall is a bit less than, of course, than Planet Eclipse, but roughly the same price. And as I said, there's not much on the market at all. This is the biggest mass-produced pump marker on the market. There is no mass-produced pump marker on the market anymore. Bob Long, MPV, long gone. Even those, they didn't make that much. The CCMs are extremely expensive. All hoarders collecting them. So if they hit the market, they're super ridiculous expensive for what they are. No disrespect, I like CCM pumps a lot. They were good, but I didn't feel they're better than my Empire Sniper with upgrades. I didn't feel much of a difference. I actually prefer my Empire Sniper because in most cases it was a bit lighter, smaller and thinner. But that's a personal opinion. And some people will roast me for that. I'm sorry for that, but it's just my personal opinion. And then this guy, chunky, beefy, with a light pump stroke. And when you shoot it, it's farty. but it's fun to shoot. I actually had a great game with the KP3 from my friend. I borrowed it and I had a fantastic round with it. I was shooting my Empire Sniper all day long. It was pretty good, nothing like standing out incredibly well or different, but then I shot with this marker and I had so many hits in that game. It was ridiculous. I was bunkering people like crazy and it just felt nice to me. It felt right to me. It's just that cheap feeling it has, that cheap light feeling, a bit clunky, but it's like a shotgun, like a slightly long pull and then a light trigger, and it moves a bit, like you feel the whole gun reacting to what you're doing, and that's cool. All the other pump markers I shot, they're pretty stiff and they're pretty tight, and this one is just loosey goosey. It's alive. It's doing stuff. You feel it's doing stuff. And the other markers do feel a bit like, for example, as I said before, the Planned Eclipse ETA, the EMAC. It just feels a bit sometimes dead. It's very tight. The tolerances are tight, and it's very short pump strokes and clear trigger pulls, like hair trigger pulls. It just feels very fast, like a race gun, and this feels like just a sloppy Joe's. I'm gonna deliver sloppy Joe paint to everybody, blah 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 blah, and it's just cool. It feels really nice, and you can crawl to the mud with this, and I mean, you don't really have to care about the aesthetics, getting scratched up and stuff like that. Like, this is a 200 euro, 30 euro pump gun versus my Empire Sniper that's $900 US, or a CCM that's like $1,200, $1,400 US. You don't per se want to get really rowdy and rough with it, unless you can afford it or you just don't go and give a shit. But I do. And with this one, I just don't give a shit. I just play with it, and I just play to the max. Play super tight to the point that you ding it, scratch it against walls, whatever. Just don't care. You're playing the way you want to play in that certain situation without having to be careful and mindful about the equipment you use. And that is quite liberating to me, and I think that's why I like the Azodin KP3 so much, because it's just a no-nonsense budget pump, and it gives a smile to my face. It's just chunky, and it's just a bit ridiculous with the farting and the spring bouncing around, and it's fun. It's a fun pump, and I really recommend it to anybody that's interested in playing pump. Yo! Okay, my son is doing crazy. Sorry. Really fun marker. So I really recommend anybody to pick up an Azodin KP3. Even if you're a Vivid pump player, because they're pretty fun to play around with. They're also perfect loaners to friends that don't play pump, that you want to get into the pump world. You want to convert them to be a pump player. I mean, you shove this in their hands and they play all day with their pump. You play all day with your pump, and more people in the field with pumps. It's only good. And if I mean, it doesn't break the bank. It's just, they cannot easily fuck this up. There's not much you can do wrong with it. Just tell them don't take out the bolts, don't be interested taking out the pin and stuff like that. Just don't fuck around with that, and you will be good. You're gonna have fun and just play with it. So yeah, Azodin KP3, pleasantly surprised budget marker that shoots really good. I'm gonna destroy my son in a second because he's annoying as hell and he broke a back. So thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.